I am more Indian than I am Kiwi. I would probably say Indian parents are more like overprotective of their child. If I really wanted to go somewhere and they wouldn't let me, that would probably cause a bit of conflict. But they should like be more free with their kid. Don't forget your Indian culture. You can try to fit in, but don't go away from who you are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this next episode of Keeping Up with Teenagers. And today it's actually interesting because my guest here is Shlok, and Shlok hails from Auckland. He's an Indian, and he's been born and raised in Auckland. So what we are navigating, thank you, Shlok, for being a part of this, and thank you for agreeing to come on Keeping Up with Teenagers. So, what we are speaking about today is actually double identity. Now, double identity from a point of view of Shlok being an Indian, born and raised in Kiwi land, and being a Gen Z. Now, it's an interesting space to navigate. Now, Shlok, if we begin, I would like to ask you, what do you feel more? Are you more an Indian or are you more
Um,
Kiwi?
I would say I am more Indian than I am Kiwi.
And how would you relate that to? As in,
Mm,
just the feeling of culture? Is it only the feeling of culture or?
yeah, I think it might be like culture and religion
Mhm.
because I've been raised in I've been taught many religious like things to do in my household since I was born. So I'm more connected to that. Mm,
When you step out of the household, are
yeah.
there any times that you feel a little confused about who you are?
No, not really. I feel the same everywhere I go.
That's really nice to know that as a proud Indian, and you
Yeah.
know that it is making proud of your own culture, and you will not shy away from that. That's very, very nice. Have you ever felt like that you need to act less Indian to fit in?
I wouldn't say like uh no, I wouldn't say so because um for me, like with my friends, I have like some Indian friends and mostly Kiwi friends. So the only different thing would be like the type of food we eat. Like they eat more non-veg and I'm full vegetarian. So that's like the major difference. But everything else is yeah, that's it.
It is actually extremely interesting when you grow up in two cultures because this it can be very empowering, right? Because you are actually absorbing two cultures and you are at the helm where you can choose and merge these cultures, right? So when you promote India and Indianness, what are the three things that you really explore with people who are non-Indian?
Um, I would say definitely like our religious beliefs, like are the festivals that we celebrate, such as like Diwali and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be one of them. And then The second one would probably be the food. The food is probably the best Indian food, definitely.
And what would
Um,
be the third one?
Third one, I would say just who like Indian people are in general. Like they're very kind, um, and they're very like um humble, and they're just very nice people and overall.
It's
That's
wonderful because food is actually a global, you know, it's something that binds people globally. You yourself are a musician, you play the guitar, you sing songs, and I think
yeah,
music also transcends barriers and boundaries. How do
yeah,
you bring
that's
music into this whole mix of doing things?
I would say like as a musician, I would say like um I kind of switch between categories. Like I would play English songs and I'd also play some Hindi, some Bollywood songs too. So yeah, I kind of just mix it up like that.
And when you do this with, because everybody has a peer circle, and if you're musically inclined, then most of your friend group also has a sense of music happening. So how do you mix and match there? Do you guys do
Um
something interesting when you jam or hang out?
Um, Not really, but I would say English music wise, with my friends that I hang out with, they're mostly Kiwi, as I mentioned. So I would say we kind of have a similar music taste in English music. So,
That's nice.
yeah.
That's nice. Now tell me something. Is also a way of expression, right? Now, with expression comes, you know, the individuality that you are shaping yourself to be, as well as freedom. Okay, so freedom, individuality, expression. Now, what happens when Indian family values clash with Gen Z values, essentially about expression, freedom, and individuality?
Um, I would say probably like I would probably say Indian parents are more like overprotective of their child a
Uh,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, compared to most of my Kiwi friends, they're allowed to go out quite a lot and allowed to stay out quite a bit. Yeah, their parents like are kind of more freer with them. But
Mhm.
I would say as and like with Indian parents, it's a lot different because you they would be like more protective kind of, which is a good thing, of course, but yeah.
Is it really a
So,
good thing?
it's like kind of a mix because it's a good thing that they care. It's like they care about where you are, who you're with, stuff like that. But it's also kind of a bad thing because you won't be able to hang out with your friends as much, won't get invited to stuff, things like that.
So does that, I mean, have there been times when, you really wanted to go somewhere, but obviously you couldn't, and there has been a little bit of repressed anger, maybe?
Yeah,
Are there
yeah,
fights, basically? Do you guys fight?
yeah.
You do.
Um, I would say like moderately. Like I we don't fight like very much. It's very moderate. It's just if I really wanted to go somewhere and they wouldn't let me, that would
Mhm.
probably cause a bit of conflict, but
Mhm.
that's yeah, that's
So
about it.
how do you handle conflicts?
Um Honestly, I I handle it pretty well because I just think like if I'm really mad and I probably just like take deep breaths, calm down, like think, rethink my actions, and honestly, everything just goes back to normal the next day. It's-
You sleep over it.
yeah, basically.
Nice. Who's the one that really, at times is restricting more? Dad or mom?
Mm.
Or is it a joint thing?
It's kind of a joint thing, but I would say maybe my mom is a little more um kind of more protective kind of.
Yeah, but that comes with, I think, being a mother and a nurturer.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very, very interesting because you picked on a very interesting point of conflict. And essentially, what we've seen a lot of teens do is there's a lot of banging, which is banging on the door. There is a lot of table thumping. There are just, absolute cold, no conversation,
Mm,
just whatever, and don't come into my room sort of a thing. So, if you had
yeah.
to advise teenagers
Yeah.
on handling conflict, especially when it comes to parental conflict, and because you are in a different country while being
Yeah.
Indian, how should one navigate it? Your advice.
Um, I would probably say probably like do one of the hobbies that you like a lot. For me, it would be like listening to music, playing basketball, um, taking deep breaths. That's probably the most important one for me because that one helps a lot with everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say just doing the hobbies that you like when you feel in an angry way, it would probably like calm your nerves down a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think is the future of identity for kids like you? Are you creating a new culture altogether where you mix both of these cultures?
Um,
Or is it being
I
headstrong that I'm Indian and I want the Indian culture to flourish further? So,
uh, I would say like it could honestly be a mix because I have a couple friends who are like they're Indian, but they have different beliefs, like some of them being a different religion, some of them eating different types of food. Yeah, so
Mhm.
whatsoever like that.
So you like the mix aspect of it.
Yeah, the
Yeah. So
it's
what is it that excites you about the Kiwi culture?
the Kiwi culture, it's like they're very welcoming and their their overall like vibe is kind of nice. Like yeah, it's can't
How,
really
how,
think of
how would you
anything.
explain the vibe? As in, if you were to compare the vibe of an Indian kid versus the vibe of the Kiwi kid, how do
Mm.
you how would you define vibe? It could be with an example, it could be with just your description.
Um, I would say like they're very like friendly. Kiwis are very friendly, uh welcoming as I said. They and the compared to an Indian kid, I was it's like
How do you define your vibe?
my vibe, I would say I'm pretty like chill. I don't really care as much about non-serious things. Um I would say I'm like a funny person.
You are a,
Um
sorry, if you could repeat that.
funny person.
You're funny. So
Yeah.
people consider you funny. That's great
Yeah.
qualities to have.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. You spoke about something being that non-serious things. So, from your point of view, what would be a serious thing and what is non-serious really when it comes to, I mean,
Mm.
anything about life?
Uh honestly for me um this this year has kind of changed because especially for school because school is kind of a serious thing and it will help in the future. So school, like for tests and stuff, I would say those are like serious things. So I would take the test seriously, and I would definitely like work on doing homework, and practicing for the tests. Like,
Mm,
yeah, trying to get an overall like high grade on the test.
nice. And which are the non-serious parts?
Like if maybe two of my friends are like kind of in a fight, I would say it's it's not that serious for me because in my friend group, everything just gets resolved the next day. So it's really not serious at all unless it gets to a point where um they're actually like fighting, and that gets pretty serious sometimes. So
So
yeah.
do you resolve any of that? Because with friendship also comes drama. So what is your way of resolving such drama? Have you ever been the drama, or you've been a bystander of drama?
I would say I've mostly been a bystander, never really in any drama. But if I were to like resolve the drama, I would probably talk to both friends who are in the conflict, and I would like ask them what's wrong and try figure out a way to like find something both the friends like, and um yeah, do it together.
And what about, just coming back to parents? Do parents understand the Kiwi side of you?
Yeah, yeah, they do because um for me, like um of course I got influenced by um friends around me, like of course the environment, because
Mm.
it's haircuts for me because sometimes my parents don't like the haircuts so that I get.
Aha,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that one's definitely like one of the things because if I get a haircut they don't like, my mom will probably like be kind of mad at me, but it was like she would get over it pretty soon. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure because there is nothing that can be done once you've had the haircut. Yeah.
Yeah.
The current look is inspired by which side of the culture?
I would say this one's inspired by social media.
Social media. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is it doing the trends in social media?
Um, it's mostly like trends such as which haircut will kind of fit your face shape, stuff like that.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. Brings me to this very interesting point where, you know, boys are very particular about how they look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
yeah.
it's the same with girls too.
Yeah.
So what is this aspect of, why do you want to look good? You
Um,
may think it's a very dumb question, but it's just for us to understand because, as parents, often because we've given birth and we've raised you and everything till now was according to how we want you to dress, how we want you to look. But
yeah.
now the switch has happened where it is your individuality shining through, and at times it becomes very difficult for us to understand or decode this. So, if you can just help understand why the
Um, I would say like for me it's self-satisfaction. I just like looking good everywhere I go. Um, yeah, I always dress nicely, do hair nicely. Just overall, I just like looking good wherever I go. It's just a self-satisfaction thing for me.
I think it's a brilliant point that, introspectively looking at how you want to look like, it's not actually for external validation, but it is
Yeah.
how you want to be and putting yourself out there as how you are. I think that is brilliant because a lot of kids your age, or forget kids, actually it's also adults. But this validation from society becomes a key thing or an important thing, and that social media perpetuates all thoughts saying, okay, you've put out a video, now people want likes, people want shares and comments. And you picked up this point that while your look is inspired by social media, but it is for your own self. It is not about getting validation from anywhere. That I
Yeah.
think is a brilliant point made for. Very interesting. So, social media now, because social media defines the world of all teenagers,
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So, what is it that you enjoy on social media?
Um, Honestly, I would say like uh probably like new kind of trends like comedy. I really like comedy. So you find a lot of comedy on social media
Hmm.
and it just makes you like in a good mood, kind of.
Is
Yeah,
that
I would
is that
say
an
that's
escape?
yeah, I would say so. I would say that's an escape from like if you're like struggling with something, you would maybe like scroll on social media for like maybe um a couple minutes or like max I would say probably an hour because I wouldn't go on for more than an hour.
Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting. So, tell me something now. Social media, and if you are looking at social media as your escape and escape from probably what's happening around or whatever you're struggling with, are there times when parents are unable to get your, doom scrolling?
Um,
Or do you tell them clearly? Or they don't bother?
I think specifically my parents don't bother because they know I won't like I don't go on it for that long.
Mm.
So like I would get bored if I was doom scrolling for like hours, I would get very bored. So they know I wouldn't go like over an hour. So
Nice.
it's yeah.
Very nice. Now tell me something, and we are towards the last part of the segment where
Okay.
I want you to please help us understand your advice as a 15-year-old for parents first.
Um
From your personal experience, what do you want parents to do better?
I would say they should like um be more free with their kid. Probably let them explore more stuff like learn about the world kind of thing. Kind of take I would say trusting them with decisions also. Yeah. And supporting them in any way they can.
Yeah, that's a very, very deep understanding. But when while I know that this exploration piece again comes back to how parents are protective, and I think when parents are not in India but outside of India, the levels of protection also grows higher because they just want to be extremely protective for the child.
Mm.
However, this entire aspect of trusting decisions, okay, what are those elements that you will want to support parents with so that they trust your decision?
Would say mostly like what you want to be when you're older. Like for
Cliche.
me, I have changed my decisions quite a lot. But now I've locked onto something and I've explained to them in detail how I will achieve this, and they trust me on achieving this. And also, I have gave them a backup option too, so they are confident to trust me on what I'm going to be when I'm older. So I would,
So it is actually about explaining things correctly, giving the logic, the facts, as well as also helping them understand, okay, you've even thought of an option,
yeah.
right? Which is a fallback on. So that is just putting it out and laying it out on the table and having that conversation. That's excellent. One advice to fellow teens, especially Indians who are being raised abroad.
I would say don't forget your Indian culture, and I would say um try like you can try to fit in but maybe don't go away from who you are.
Mhm. How does one do that? Because if
That's
you're trying to fit in, that means you are forgetting some aspects of what inherently is you. So, how do you fit in without forgetting that?
um I would say probably keeping up with festivals, like Indian festivals, religious activities. Uh, I would say stuff like that will impact how they can like stay with their culture, who they are.
Okay, so it brings you back to roots. That's actually
Yeah.
very, very, very interesting that religion plays a key role of, grounding you, rooting you to the culture that you belong to. That's excellent. I think, Shlok, it's been a great conversation.
Yeah.
There were a lot of nuggets of information, wisdom, and thank you so much for helping us parent teens one more step better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank
Bye.
you. Okay, bye.